Hi scholars, welcome back to another day of Read Aloud with me, Miss Luna. Scholars, guess what? This is our last week of Read Aloud. Say no way! I know, I can't believe it either. So guess what? I'm going to be having some special surprises in each of my lessons this week. So make sure you watch every single lesson this week so you can see all of those cool surprises. Got it? Awesome. So today, before we start off with our book, I have a special shout out. I actually have two shout outs today. So my first shout out is for Miss Stein's class, NAU. I want to shout you guys out because I know that all of you have been working super hard, not only with these videos, but I also know in class with Miss Stein. And I want to give you guys a huge shout out for all of your hard work and for making it all this way so far. And because you guys are almost second graders and you guys have been rocking it. Oh, sending some love to Miss Stein's class. Awesome. And my next shout out is for Miss Stevenson's class, U of A. I know you guys have been working hard all year long, and especially with the videos, with the read aloud questions, watching, participating, and I know that Miss Stevenson is so proud of you guys, and so am I. Awesome work, scholars. Sending all the love to Miss Stevenson's class right now. Awesome. So now that we're done with our shout outs, guess what? We are starting a new unit. I know, right? We've already done 2 units. Now this is our 3rd one. So we're so smart. Awesome. So this new unit is going to be kind of like our last unit. We're still going to be learning about nonfiction books. Ooh, nonfiction book chant. Get ready, go. Nonfiction books are books about real things that teach us facts. So we are still going to be reading nonfiction books, but this is a different type of nonfiction book. It is about biographies. And biographies are nonfiction books about someone's life. Ooh, they're nonfiction books about someone's life. All together, get ready, go. Biographies are nonfiction books about someone's life. Yeah, so we are going to be reading some different type of biographies this week. There are going to be 2 different types of biographies we are going to be looking at this week. We're going to be looking at different types of biographies this week. So we are going to be looking at modern biographies and historical biographies. So modern biographies are nonfiction books about someone who's alive. Got it? So modern biographies are nonfiction books about someone who's alive. Ooh, all together, get ready, go. Modern biographies are nonfiction books about someone who's alive. Ooh, one more time, get ready, go. Modern biographies are nonfiction books about someone who's alive. Awesome. So we might be taking a look at some modern biographies. We're also going to be taking a look at some historical biographies. And historical biographies are nonfiction books about someone who's dead. So they aren't alive anymore. So this is a book about their life. Got it? So historical biographies are nonfiction books about someone who is dead. Ooh, all together, get ready, go. Historical biographies are nonfiction books about someone who is dead. Got it? Awesome. So my mission for you guys, yes, I have a special mission for you, is today when we are reading our story, I want you to be thinking, what kind of story is this and how do you know? Is it a modern biography or a historical biography? Got it? Awesome. So today for our story, we are going to be reading Martin's Big Words. And this is a story about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ooh, who remembers learning about him in February? I do. Remember, we kind of learned about him during Black History Month. Got it? So now we're going to be even learning more about him. Say, so cool. Awesome. Martin's big words. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad, until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. In church, Martin sang hymns, he read from the Bible, he listened to his father preach. These words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too. Martin grew up. He became a minister like his father. He used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. Everyone can be great. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Ooh, scholars, go ahead and start thinking in your head. Go ahead, start thinking. What did Martin Luther King Jr. learn from Gandhi? What did he learn from Gandhi? Got it? So go ahead thinking about your answer in your head. Also trying to find some text evidence to help support that. What did he learn? Taking a couple more seconds to gather your answer in your head and ready to shout out. All right, and you guys can go ahead and shout out your answer now. Yeah, what Martin Luther King Jr. learned from Gandhi was that hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And we know that because on page 6, it says that. It says, hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Can do that. Awesome job, scholars. Let's keep on reading. He said together, when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together. In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from the seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. Oh, scholars, I want you to go ahead and start thinking in your head. Go ahead and start thinking. What happened when Montgomery's black citizens learned Rosa Parks had been arrested? What happened when Montgomery's black citizens learned that Rosa Parks had been arrested? What happened? Go ahead thinking about your answer. Also maybe looking back on the page to help you think of your answer and get your text evidence. Taking a couple more seconds, getting your answer in your head, ready to shout out. All right, and if you have your answer, go ahead and shout it out. Yeah, what happened after Rosa Parks had been arrested was that Montgomery's black citizens stopped riding the bus because they realized that it was not fair that they had to go and sit at the back of the bus instead of sitting wherever they wanted to. They realized that wasn't fair, and so they stopped riding the bus. Awesome job, scholars. Let's keep on reading. For 381 days, they walked to work and school and church. They walked in rain and cold and in blistering heat. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree they could sit anywhere they wanted. When the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. In the next 10 years, Black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop, but they kept on marching. Wait! For years I have heard the word wait. We have waited more than 340 years for our rights. They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some Black Americans wanted to fight back with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them of the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's word. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed, his brother's house was bombed, but he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped because God is with this movement. The marches continued. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protests, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down. All right, scholars, go ahead and start thinking in your head. Go ahead and start thinking. What happened because Martin Luther King Jr. led protests, and why is that important? What happened because Martin Luther King Jr. led protests, and why is that important? Go ahead thinking of your answer. Also looking back on the pages, kind of helping you think about your answer and get your evidence also with your answer in your head. Taking a couple more seconds, getting your answer ready to shout out. All right, if you have your answer, go ahead and shout it out. Yeah, that's right. So after Martin Luther King Jr. had led all of those protests, lawmakers finally decided to end segregation, meaning that white people and black people could finally go into the same places together. They could sit whatever they want. They could do almost whatever they wanted to and have the same rights as white people. And the reason why that's so important is because we want to make sure that everyone is being treated fair and equally. And that was not what was happening before when there was segregation. So when they finally ended that, all of that started coming together, and everyone started being treated equally. Awesome job, scholars. Really loved how we're looking back at that evidence, kind of thinking of our answer and why it was so important. Awesome job. Let's keep on reading. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about people all over the world, and people all over the world admired him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others to fight with words, not fists. Martin went wherever people needed help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who were on strike. He walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. On his second day there, he was shot. He died. His big words are alive for us today. The end. So, scholars, we just finished reading Martin's big words. So, earlier I gave you guys a mission, and that mission was to figure out whether this is a modern biography or a historical biography. So, right now, I want you guys to go ahead, go get a piece of paper, and write down your answer to that question. Is Martin's big word a modern biography or a historical biography? And how do you know? Got it? Make sure that when you're answering that question, you are using your race response. Well, scholars, that's all for today's lesson. Come back tomorrow so you can see the special surprises that I have and so you can see what book we are reading. All right, bye, scholars.